When you pick out meat for beef jerky, you're going to want to use London Broil. And I like to buy as much of it as I can at one time. Put it in the freezer and pull it out about a couple hours, 2 to 3 hours before you start cutting it for dehydrating. This allows it to get firm in the middle but tender on the outside. It's going to make it a lot easier to use a knife cutting it or on the meat slicer. The first thing you're going to want to do after taking it out, letting it defrost a little bit, is you're going to want to cut off all this fat. You don't want any fat on your beef jerky because that's going to make it rancid. So just take a knife, clean it up a little bit. Throw it right in the trash. Once you've gotten the fat trimmed away, you're going to want to cut these down to more manageable pieces. Not too little, but little enough where it's easy to handle with the meat slicer. About so big. Now repeat with all your meat, and then when we're all done cutting them into manageable pieces, we'll start slicing them in the meat slicer. Alright, now that we have all the meat cut up into easy to use chunks, we're going to use the meat slicer to get it a little thinner. You could use a knife at home if you want. If you don't have a meat slicer, it works just as well. The meat slicer is a lot faster, especially if you're processing a lot of meat like we have here. Now you're probably wondering whether you should cut with the grain or against the grain. And that depends on what you want. If you cut with the grain, it's going to make a chewier, more slab-like piece of beef jerky, which is fine. That's what most people think of when they think of beef jerky. If you cut it against the grain, it breaks apart easier and it's a little easier to eat. I like it both ways. It's your jerky, you choose how you're going to cut it. I'm probably going to do a little bit of both. That way, I have options. So what we're going to want to do is select your slice of meat right here. That's a good one. We're going to place it on our meat slicer. Measure out about 1/4 to 1/8 of an inch, or however thick you want it. Like I said, it's your beef jerky. That's a good cut of meat. This one's with the grain, so it's going to be a chewier piece. And just repeat till you've done all of it. Alright, now that we got all of our meat cut up into about 1/4 to 1/8 diameter, with or against the grain, whatever you want, now it's time to marinate it. So to marinate it, the first thing we're going to need is a gallon plastic bag and a bowl. Trust me on this. You're going to get your bowl, put the bowl down, put the plastic bag in the bowl. Otherwise, it's going to go everywhere. It'll be a huge mess. You don't want that. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to put in some of the ingredients for our marinade. We have here 1/2 of a teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/2 a teaspoon of seasoned salt, and we have 1/4 of a teaspoon of black pepper. Put that in the bag. Make sure you get it all. Next, what you're going to want to do is you're going to put 1/2 a cup of soy sauce. Now you can substitute, low sodium soy sauce if you're worried about that. I'm not. Then we're going to put in 1 cup of water and 1 teaspoon of liquid smoke. You can use any liquid smoke you want. I like hickory. It smells good. But you can use anything that you want. Like you could even make your own. Oh, that smells good. Now you're going to want to kind of make sure all the ingredients are mixed up together. Perfect. Now we're going to take that beautifully cut meat that we did earlier. We're just going to put it in the bag. Now this recipe makes for 3 pounds of cut meat. But I always like to do 2 to 3 recipes at once. That way you have plenty of beef jerky. And this stuff will go fast. Everyone will want some. Trust me on that. Now this is a special recipe for me. You could find recipes all kinds of ways. You can find them online. You can find them in old cooking books. If you have any rubs that you especially like or marinades, you could use that. This is the recipe my mom used to make when I was little, and I loved it. It would smell the whole house like delicious beef jerky. We would make it in the summertime. I remember going swimming and then running home or running in the house. It smells just like beef jerky, and just watching the beef jerky in the dehydrator, just waiting for it to get done. Great memories with this. But my favorite memory is when I was little, I would come in and I'd be able to get to mix up the meat in the bag and just kind of squish it together. And you're going to want to do this a couple times. So you take the bag thusly and just kind of squish up the meat. And it's a lot of fun. If you have little ones, they like to do it too.
I'm going to.
You want to? Alright. Let the meat marinate for about 24 to 48 hours in the refrigerator. After the time's up, you're going to want to start making jerky. First thing to do, lay down some paper towels, put your rack on. We're going to start laying this out. Make sure to leave space between the beef jerky. This will allow airflow. And the airflow is crucial to make sure that everything dries evenly. Otherwise you'll get bits that are really dry and some that aren't, and it's going to take a lot longer. Now every dehydrator model is a bit different. You can even do this in the oven on low temperature with the door open. I've never done it like that. I have a friend who does. But if you have a dehydrator, that would be ideal. And this is kind of what you're going for. So there's plenty of space in between the meat, and it's going to dehydrate real nice. Just slide it on in there. Now it's okay if you don't get all the meat on the dehydrator at once. You could break this up into 2 or 3 drying times. It's okay. It will take a while. Now that the meat's all wrapped, we're going to start making it into jerky. So with this particular dehydrator, I like to have the heat on about 140 for about 10 hours. This makes it just tender enough without over drying it. Now that our jerky is done, you're going to want to store it in a Ziploc bag or a jar. Take it with you hiking, backpacking, work, school, or just running errands. It's a great snack full of protein. You can even take some, break them up, put it with some noodles, some ramen, make a stew, add a little flour to thicken it, some dehydrated vegetables. It's a great backpacking meal. Thanks for making beef jerky with me.